Yeah.
Okay.
Unfortunately.
Well, not had, but well, it was a lot better than Windows 3.11 and all this stuff. But anyways, well, I like DOS sometimes a lot more. At least it was stable.
It was certainly stable. It was that.
At the bottom of the map now, in the second game, PvZ, we have the EG player, the EG teddy bear, JYP. He's from Clan ET, the evil teddy bears.
You know, if you look at all the EG players, you can imagine them as teddy bears if you look hard enough.
Do you know these pictures where you have a comic figure drawn of a teddy bear and he has claws and evil eyes, but he looks still really cute? That's JYP.
Yeah, certainly. I see that, actually.
Well, his opponent, starting at the top of the map in the blue, starting for the Slayers team. Down one map, this is Slayers Miya.
I'm actually just thinking back right now to DOS. After you mentioned that, like, I just remember I always wanted to install a game, and then I would try to install it myself, right, as a kid, you know, being 5, 6, or 7 years old, I guess, at various times in my life, and then eventually not being able to succeed. Then I'm like, Dad, I can't get the game. I can't get the game to install. He comes, he's like opening up a command prompt, and I'm just like, I don't know why this is so complicated, but I just like my father actually doesn't know that much about computers, but he looks like a wizard. He's just like typing stuff into the prompt.
When I played Wing Commander, okay,
I tried to install this game and I couldn't get it to work. I know exactly what you're talking about.
You have no idea what you missed, man. Wing Commander was the best ever. I loved this game. I loved it so much. I played every single part. But the thing is, when you had like 35 of those discs that you had to install, and it took longer than actually to finish the game, but it was so much fun.
Yeah, I getting Wing Commander, I got it, my uncle gave it to me for my birthday or something, and I tried to install it, but it was just too complicated, and in the end the computer that I was trying to install on wasn't compatible or something. It was so frustrating. It was one of the most frustrating moments in my early gaming career.
Do you remember when they made this Wing Commander movie, and then you watch it and you have this awesome picture in your head of how Kilrathi actually looked like, and then you see those plush thingies and you're like, what?
I didn't know there was a movie, actually.
Oh, there is no movie.
Oh.
There is no movie. Don't watch it. Don't watch it. There's no 4th Indiana Jones. There is no Wing Commander movie.
Oh, I'll take your word on that. I'll take your word on it.
You better.
Man, I started watching, by the way, well, I only watched the first episode. There's a Tron animation going on right now that takes place in between the Tron films. Nice probe denials, by the way, in both games for JYP. And I thought it was okay so far. I mean, I will not pass judgment, but I'm going to try to watch it. Whenever I start a series that I'm not sure about, I never give up on it. I always finish. Even if about 2/3 of the way through I'm like, I don't know if I really like this or this isn't really my style, I just finish it. I don't pass judgment, but...
Here we have the Scout, by the way. So at this point right now, we currently have the double gas and we have the third base.
And he sees...
It's not a lot of that's happening right now. Just the build order is unfolding a little bit.
He sees a whole lot of nothing. He's like, you didn't skip your gases. Okay.
You mentioning the animated series like Tron, we just talked, I think yesterday or the day before, about the new Thundercats.
Yeah, it's really good.
2011. That is actually really good. I mean,
I didn't finish that one actually because I lost my files. But
I would love them to actually start Saber Rider again. You don't even know what I'm talking about.
No, actually, my father mentioned this to me.
We talked about it, exactly. Yeah, that's when I realized that your father's a really, really cool guy.
Yeah. He was always telling me how cool it was, but I don't think I ever got to see that. Well, double gassing at the natural again for JYP. We saw, of course, earlier, Pross doing this when they want to take a third, getting their Immortals and the Sentries out to defend, powering up the gates. Probably something that we'll see. This map is the one that we've talked about. We've probably actually spent in total the amount of times, like, you could make a compilation video of us talking how good the Immortal Sentry pushes with Warp Prisms on this map. Like, there could be like a 2-hour compilation, but guys, let's be honest, it's really good on this map.
Yeah, this is exactly the map where it was first developed, and for good reason. But the position that we have right now with the cross position on the map, I mean, you can already see we are 6 minutes and 40 in the game, and we had a ton of time to talk about everything except the game, because it's just the basic builders, the standard builders that we have. And we just started with the +1 attack timing. So So far there hasn't been a transition. It looks like JYP is trying to hit this timing where he attacks with the 4-gate and with the upgrades as well. You really like this push, don't you? I'm not a huge fan.
It's becoming less something I'm a fan of because it's so predictable now. And if the pylon gets spotted, it's just like, well, I guess all the chrono you used, you know, if you want to hit fast with the warp gate research and the forge, it's like, well, I used a lot of chrono on this. I guess it didn't work out. Or if he has the Roach Warren at well timed like he is here, and you warp in around his zealots and they just die before you can really do any damage, it's like, well, I could have had a Twilight Council and my double gases, but I don't have that.
Overlord now moving in and spotting not only the third but also the fourth gas, and is probably not able to have a look at the Twilight. Oh, actually, that is going to be close.
Yeah, it's not quite certain. No.
Wow, that was a close one though. It was really close. 1 second later and the Twilight Council would have been spotted, but as it is, he does not know what's coming. So Miya, without a lot of scouting information here, he's already taking full air, he's taking additional gas, he once again spreads his creep. He did a very good job on the last map, Atlantis Spaceship, regarding his creep spread. It did not help him in the end. And let's see how JYP is going to execute this. He's not hitting with 4 gates. He certainly had everything that he needed to, but he's adding additional gates right now, increasing his production, waiting for the +2 Blink Stalker timing. And given how well he played with the Blink Stalkers in the last game, this is something that Miya has to be really afraid of.
Yeah, I mean, no rock attack whatsoever. Okay, he's just now seeing his sentries over. Looks like he wants to clean up potential overlords at this base. I think with the gates he's adding and where he's adding them, he's not making them as part of a wall. He's going up to 8. He's got +2, Blink, Observer, Warp Prism all lined up in a row. Starting to look like he does not want to play a long game this time.
He's definitely going for this attack, and the Warp Prism will help him to warp in the units, but it also gives him the potential of warping in a few sentries and trying to go for a choke block. This is actually exactly the map where JYP started off with the Stargate, forced the Overlords back, and then went in, postured with his Blink Stalkers on the low ground, used the sentries and the Warp Prism to put them on the high ground. This might be exactly... minus the Stargate opening, but this might be exactly what we're going to see here. Him trying to get in position at the choke, force fielding it and blinking up onto the high ground with the Stalkers.
Yeah, this is something he has executed well in the past. Him specifically in Killer, I feel like do this build more than anyone else.
There it is.
Yeah, he's absolutely going to do it. Guys, this is my favorite all-in the world. Like, I actually get so excited when I watch this happen. Watch this. Blinks up. Blinks into the main. Needs to get those sentries in there.
Just in time.
Oh, and he does get them in, and
he saves the sentries. He can blink up with the rest of his Stalkers. He warps in units, and this is bye-bye main base.
Yep. There's no way to save it. I'm a little bit surprised he used Guardian Shield. Could have used all that energy for force fields, but I mean, he can warp in more sentries. He can do whatever he wants. And to be honest, I'm not sure why Miya thinks he can break up through here. I mean,
me neither. He has to kind of fall back right now. We see a lot of Zerg players reacting as soon as it happens with using an
counterattack.
Once a counterattack and immediately building their structures again. Immediately building the spawning pool.
But GG.
Miya already realizes that he can't hold his main base, that the game is over, and JYP. He advances in the GSL to the next round with a 2-0.
Yeah, 2-0. That push is so tough to hold. I mean, if you don't know that it's coming, it's hard to hold. But if you know that it's coming,
it's
also hard to hold. But if you mess anything up, like if your Warp Prism gets killed, if your Stalker Blink is messed up, if your opponent already has his Lings in his main and you blink up on top of them, lose your Stalkers, or if you lose your sentries in any way, you die. It's a very technical on. You have to have your Stalkers and your Warp Prism flying.
Yep.
You have to have the Observer out as well because he might have Burrow. You have to have all of these upgrades lined up perfectly, Blink, +2, all of these things. You have to make sure your opponent doesn't scout that you have no third, which is something he did as well. And you have to make sure your sentry pickup is not spotted. I mean, it is very, very technical.
By the way, about the force fields on the ramp, what do you think about this idea that a lot of people have? I don't know if I'm a fan of it, but this thought that some people in the community had when they talked about how could you actually make sure that those force fields are not as strong on ramps as they currently are, with making Queens massive?
I don't like that.
Do you think that would be too dangerous because Queens would be a part of nearly every attack against Protoss and shut down force fields?
I don't think that would be something that would happen. I think that the bigger concern for me for that is that it just makes Force Fields too weak against Zerg because you always have queens nearby. You could just have a queen with your roaches, for example, during a sentry push like we see now, and the queen could just walk at the front and just step over everything, and I think that would just be too much.
Well, the next game is going to be a ZVZ, guys, and we are heading into a 5-minute break, and then we will be back with MVP Sniper against Anyong Prime. Stay tuned. This is the GSL round of 48 with Cullen Wolf.